In 1884, Thomas Edison made Nikola Tesla a promise. "Improve the efficiency of my DC motors," Edison said, "and I will pay you $50,000. Tesla spent 11 months working around the clock. He solved the problem. Then Edison laughed. "Tesla," he said, "you don't understand American humor. The $50,000 never came." What's up, guys? Here is what nobody tells you about that story. Tesla didn't collapse. He didn't beg. He didn't publicly rage against Edison in the press. He walked out, filed his own patents, and built the alternating current system that now powers the entire modern world. Edison, the man who humiliated him, spent the last decades of his life watching his competitors' technology replace everything he had built. That is not a revenge story. That is a psychology story. And today we are going to break down exactly what Tesla understood about power that most people never figure out. Because betrayal does something interesting to the human mind. Most people respond to it with noise. They react. They explain. They seek sympathy. But a specific type of person responds with silence and then with construction. The difference between those two responses is not personality. It is not talent. It is a set of learnable psychological principles. And once you see them, you cannot unsee them. Let's start internally, because that is where everything begins. Research in cognitive psychology suggests that individuals who frame negative experiences as information rather than injury show measurably stronger long-term decision-making. Not because they are unaffected, because they redirect cognitive energy away from emotional rehearsal and towards strategic planning. In plain language, the person who keeps replaying how they were wronged stays stuck. The person who asks what this taught them starts moving. Tesla didn't sit in the wound. He cataloged the data. Edison values loyalty until it costs him money. Verbal agreements mean nothing without documentation. My leverage is my ability to create what others cannot. These weren't motivational thoughts. They were tactical observations. This is the first shift. Stop experiencing betrayal as something that happened to you and start reading it as information about the environment you are operating in. Every person who let you down just handed you a blueprint. Who breaks under pressure? Who values their reputation over their commitments? Who is threatened by your competence? That is leverage, not the emotional kind, the strategic kind. But here is the part nobody talks about. Knowing what happened to you and knowing how to act differently are two completely separate skills. Most people assume clarity automatically produces behavior change. It doesn't. Between insight and action there is a gap, and that gap is filled by emotional regulation. Daniel Goleman, whose work on emotional intelligence reshaped how organizational psychologists think about leadership, found that self-regulation, specifically the ability to manage disruptive impulses, is more predictive of professional advancement than raw intelligence or technical skill. What he found wasn't just that calm people perform better, it is that calm people are perceived as more powerful, not because they feel less, because they reveal less. And in any social or professional hierarchy, what you reveal determines what others can use against you. This is where Tesla's behavior becomes a masterclass. After leaving Edison, he did not give interviews attacking his former employer. He let Edison's actions speak. He controlled the narrative by refusing to create one. His silence forced the industry to fill in the gaps, and what they filled it with was curiosity. What is Tesla building? Where did he go? Why is he so quiet? Scarcity breeds value. This is not a vague principle. Robert Cialdini's research from Arizona State University, documented in his foundational work on persuasion, demonstrated that perceived scarcity consistently increases desirability regardless of the actual value of what is being withheld. When you become less readable, less available, less predictable, people instinctively attribute more weight to your presence. They notice you more when you appear less. Tesla understood this intuitively. The man barely gave public appearances during his most productive years. He let his inventions do the talking. And the effect was that when he did show up, rooms shifted. Now we move to behavior. Because presence without skill is just performance. The most effective shift you can make in how you operate socially is to stop explaining yourself, not because explanations are weak, because over-explanation signals insecurity. When someone challenges you, and your first move is to justify your position at length, you have already handed them control of the frame. You have communicated that their approval matters enough to spend your energy chasing it. Watch how people with genuine authority respond to challenges. They don't scramble. They pause. They answer briefly. They move on. That brevity is not rudeness. It is a signal that says your opinion is noted, not required. Here is something Machiavelli wrote that most people completely misread. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Most people read that as a cold, cynical take on rulers and armies. But look closer. What he is actually describing is the hierarchy of psychological impact in everyday life. Love is conditional. It depends on how the other person feels today, what you did last week, whether you met their expectations. Fear, in Machiavelli's framework, is closer to respect. It is consistent. It persists even when someone doesn't like you. It persists even when you are not in the room. And that consistency is what creates durable influence. Tesla never asked Edison's industry to love him. He made himself impossible to ignore. That is the distinction. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. The social dynamics that govern who rises and who stays stuck are not about merit. They are about positioning. You can be the most competent person in a room and still lose leverage to someone who understands how to occupy space, how to time silence, how to make their absence felt. This is not manipulation in a sinister sense. It is psychological literacy. The ability to read what a situation requires and respond to that, not to your emotions. What Tesla built after Edison wasn't just a better technology. It was a different kind of presence. He stopped being someone who needed Edison's validation to operate. He stopped being legible to the people who had underestimated him. And in that illegibility, he became the thing every powerful person eventually becomes. Someone others have to account for. That is what this is really about. Not revenge, not bitterness, not becoming cold for its own sake. It is about building a version of yourself that operates from clarity instead of reaction, that holds standards without announcement, that accumulates leverage not by scheming but by refusing to be predictable. The people who once dismissed you cannot control what they cannot read, and they cannot read you once you stop narrating yourself to them. So the question is not whether you have been betrayed. Most people have. The question is whether that experience sharpened your perception or just deepened your grievance, because one of those makes you dangerous, and the other keeps you stuck in a story where someone else holds the power. Tesla built the future in a room they thought he couldn't enter. You have the same option. If this hit different, subscribe to Vertex Vision. We break down the psychology behind why people rise, why they stay stuck, and what actually separates the two. Like the video if you want more of this. New uploads every week.